So hello everybody. I'm very pleased to be with you today for this third webinar about acoustic simulation. So my name is Diego Dudekem. I'm the head of the project and support team here at Freefield Technologies, or FFT in short. And FFT is an MSc company and is the editor of the Actron software. So during the two first webinars, we introduced the acoustic radiation and the vibroacoustic simulation using Actron. So Actron is the MSc software solution for acoustic, vibroacoustic, and aeroacoustic simulation. So the purpose of today is to look into the field of aeroacoustics. The points we have on the agenda are the following. First, I will briefly introduce to you the content of the Actron software and the concept of computational aeroacoustics. Second, we will look at the major features of Actron for solving aeroacoustic problems. So we will define what is an hybrid method, and we will review the basic principle behind the light hill analogy. Then I will present you the computational process. We will also look at the mapping strategy used to couple Actron with CFD solution, which is a key ingredient of the method. And we will also review the current status of our interfaces with the most popular CFD solvers. And then third, I will briefly review 4 case studies to illustrate how the software can be applied to real-life industrial problems. And then finally, I will conclude the presentation in one slide, and we will have our Q&A session. So the Actron software is divided in different modules according to the different features that are available. So first, we start at the bottom of the slide with the acoustic module, which is the core of Actron. So the acoustic modules contain everything required to solve pure acoustic problems. So there are acoustic finite elements, acoustic infinite elements, acoustic excitation, all or algebraic solvers, the ability to account for flows or to account for temperature gradients, or also to account acoustic absorption. And if we increase the complexity of the problem by combining the acoustic physics with structural dynamics, then we end up solving a fully coupled vibroacoustic problem. And this is the purpose of the Actron vibroacoustic module, which contains, among other, structural finite elements, including viscoelastic and composite shells, solids, beams, poroelastic elements, and all the necessary excitations. And if we go one step further to solve a fully trimmed body problem using Nastran to represent the body and Actron to represent the trim components, then we need to use the Actron for Nastran module. But if we combine the acoustic physics with aerodynamics, then we start looking at aeroacoustics problems, and this is the purpose of today's webinar. And then we also have 2 other modules targeted for aircraft turbofan engine. So it is really important to remember that all these modules can be combined with each other. So as such, it's perfectly possible to solve a fully coupled aero-vibroacoustic problem, and we will see an example of that today. And all these different modules are integrated in Actron VI, that is the dedicated pre- and post-processor of Actron. So the topic of today being aeroacoustics, we will focus on the dedicated modules, which are the acoustic module and the aeroacoustic module. So the vibroacoustic module has been covered during the last webinar, and I invite you to visit the MFC website to watch the recording. Please note that this webinar will also be followed by other webinars in the coming months, and the calendar of those webinars is also available on the MSc website. So Actron is based on the finite element method that is complemented with infinite elements to account for the radiation in free field. And please refer to the previous webinar for more details about the principle behind these infinite elements. So Actron is really a multiple pose toolbox, and different computational sequences are available to solve the acoustic problem. First, there is a direct frequency response, that is the most popular sequence. So then the solution is computed in the so-called physical space, and the model can include any kind of complexity or damping mechanism. But there is also the modal frequency response, where the solution is computed using a preliminary reduction in the modal space. And this is very well suited for interior vibroacoustic problems, and modes can be extracted by Nastran or Actron. Then we have hybrid modal physical approach that basically combine the best of both worlds. In such analysis, the structure is usually represented in the form of modes, and the acoustic fluid is solved in the physical coordinates. Then we also have a modal extraction solver for undamped structures and cavities. And then we also have more advanced sequences like a time domain solver or a compressible flow solver. So Actron is compiled on Linux and Windows platform, both in 32 and 64-bit versions. And we have very efficient solvers available to solve algebraic problems. So we have direct and iterative solver. All these solvers include a multiple load case capability, meaning that different excitation can be solved independently, but all at the same time for almost no extra cost. And then different types of parallelism are available, so the computation can be spread on different processors according to different strategies. So we have frequency parallelism, we have domain parallelism, or matrix parallelism. So the field of aeroacoustics is related to the noise generated by a turbulent flow. A rigorous and well-accepted definition has been provided by Goldstein in 1976. So example of aeroacoustic problems includes the wind noise generated by the turbulence around an electrical cable or around the landing gear system of an airplane aircraft, or the noise generated by the rotation of the blade of a fan. But it also includes the noise from turbulent flow produced in an intake or exhaust system by the presence of obstacle or section changes, and also the sound produced by some musical instrument like a flute have also a turbulent origin. So CAA is the abbreviation of computational aeroacoustics, like CFD, that means computational fluid dynamics. And any CAA method usually belongs to one of the following categories. First, there are the so-called direct methods. An unsteady CFD solver is used to compute both the aerodynamic field and the acoustic field, and the two at the same time. Then we have the hybrid methods, where the CFD solver is used to produce intermediate aerodynamic results, and those results are used afterwards in an acoustic computation performed by a dedicated acoustic solver. And then third, we have the semi-empirical models that do not rely on unsteady CFD. So these methods are usually cheaper since they don't need a CFD, but they are not very accurate. So in theory, the direct solution using CFD seems very attractive because the equations that are solved contain all the acoustic information. The main advantage is that everything, so the fluid part and the acoustic part, are computed in one single simulation, so there is theoretically no additional work for the acoustic computation. However, this is very difficult to set up in practice. First of all, the CPU requirements are hardly affordable, because the time step must be extremely small with respect to the CFL criterion, and then the size of the model will be huge, since usually the observer is far away from the noise source. Second, for low Mach number application, the CFD solvers had some numerical dissipation to the model in order to stabilize the computation. And this is not acceptable for aeroacoustics because the dissipation will kill the acoustic wave. Third, the energy level of the turbulence are usually much larger than the acoustic energy level, and the difference is usually several orders of magnitude. And therefore it's very difficult to extract accurate acoustic information from the turbulent information. And then finally, a CFD solver remains a solver designed to solve aerodynamics and not acoustics. So as such, it's very difficult to set up non-reflective boundary condition compared to infinite elements. It's also nearly impossible to solve aero-vibroacoustic problems that involve the coupling between the acoustic pressure and the vibration level of a flexible wall. And also CFD codes do not contain extended features for modeling realistic dissipation mechanisms, such as the acoustic absorption or mechanical damping or acoustic transmission properties. So then the solution to go forward is to use an hybrid method as it is implemented in Actron. So the basic idea behind an hybrid method is to decouple the computational process in two separate steps and use the CFD solver and the acoustic solver for what they have been designed. First, the CFD solver computes the unsteady CFD flow at every time step and everywhere there are some source generation mechanisms. Second, the acoustic solver will use these unsteady flow results to extract the equivalent noise source and then propagate them into the acoustic medium. So the main assumption behind an hybrid method is that the noise propagation has a negligible effect on the aerodynamic field. In other words, the acoustic field does not modify the flow. And this assumption is valid for a large majority of problems. So the major challenge from the numerical point of view are to choose a good propagation operator, then to identify the correct source term to be associated with this operator, and then accurately transfer the data from the CFD solution to the acoustic solution. And in Actron, the two first points are addressed to the use of an acoustic analogy, and the third point is solved thanks to a very efficient integration mapping technique. So the principle of the Light-Hill analogy is to decompose the source generation mechanism from the propagation of noise. So in practice, if we take the example of a flow impacting a rigid obstacle, as displayed on the slide, then the presence of the object will generate some turbulence, in particular downstream of the object. And this is the first problem that is solved by the unsteady flow solver. So typically where the CFD solution must be computed corresponds to the place where the noise source are located, which is the red region in the slide. There is no need to have an accurate CFD anywhere else. And then the second problem corresponds to the noise source computation and their propagation. So for that reason, the acoustic domain should be something like the red region and the yellow region. So these two regions will be modeled using finite elements. Outside the yellow region, acoustic infinite elements are used for the far field radiation. And so the source term will only be computed in the overlapping domain between the CFD and the acoustic meshes, that is the red region. And so the Light-Hill analogy will be used to compute this source term. If you need more information about finite and infinite element implemented in Actron, I advise you to look at the recording of the webinar about acoustic radiation on the MSc website. So the idea followed by Light-Hill in its derivation of the acoustic analogy is to start from the equations of the fluid dynamics, the Navier-Stokes equation, and to manipulate this equation, or more precisely to reorder the terms in the equation with the smallest possible number of assumptions in order to derive something that is similar to a wave equation on the left-hand side. And everything that is not part of this wave equation is put on the right-hand side and is considered as a source term. And doing so, the source terms depend on the different aerodynamic variables. And so after some assumptions like a high Reynolds number or a low Mach number and no entropy source in the system, then the final source term, that is called the Light-Hill tensor, only includes the density and the velocity. And the implementation of this analogy in a finite element context makes it compatible with any kind of boundary condition. And this is one of the major differences with the less powerful implementations, such as a curl integral, a Fox-Williams-Hawkins equations, or a boundary element methods. And the Light-Hill analogy is restricted to low Mach numbers, but Actron also includes the Möhring analogy, that is the extension of the Light-Hill analogy for higher Mach numbers. So the entire computational process is schematically presented in this slide. So usually the process starts with the CAD model of the system to be studied. And starting from that CAD model, the CFD engineers can create a CFD mesh. Then you can run the CFD computation and finally obtain the flow solution for the different time steps. Then on the other hand, the acoustic engineer will also start from this CAD model to create its acoustic mesh. And it's very important to understand that the acoustic mesh is usually very different than the CFD mesh. In particular, the CFD mesh is most of the time much finer than the acoustic mesh, because the CFD mesh is designed to capture the small turbulence scale, while the acoustic mesh is designed to capture only the acoustic wavelength. Then, the acoustic engineer will perform the transfer of information from the unsteady CFD results to the acoustic mesh. And this involves two steps. First, the light-field source term is computed and mapped on the acoustic mesh in the time domain. Then, because Actron is a frequency domain solver, the source term is converted from the time domain to the frequency domain using a direct Fourier transform. And then the final step is the Actron computation based on the acoustic mesh and on the source term to produce the acoustic results such as the sound pressure level at any point or the global radiated power by the system. So it's an easy-to-use procedure where the acoustic chain is completely decoupled from the CFD chain, and it can therefore involve different engineers from different departments with a very limited number of interactions. Then the mapping strategy uses a so-called integration technique, and this is really a key ingredient of the success of the method, and I will explain that in the next slide. And thanks to this method, the acoustic mesh can be designed only for the acoustic propagation. So there is no need to refine the mesh in the source region. And then Actron is interfaced with many CFD solvers and with the native CFD formats from the most popular ones. So the first step of mapping an information from one fine mesh, that is the CFD mesh, to another coarse mesh, that is for instance the acoustic mesh, using a standard interpolation technique, is to localize the acoustic nodes inside the CFD cell. And then the second step is to use the information from the CFD nodes belonging to the CFD cells where the acoustic nodes have been localized. And you can easily understand that there is a possible loss of information if the mesh refinements are very different. Therefore, an alternative mapping technique has been implemented in Actron. And the process here goes really the other way around. So one first localizes all the CFD nodes in the acoustic mesh, and one uses the shape functions of the acoustic finite elements to integrate the CFD information on the acoustic mesh. And as such, there is no loss of information during the process. And to illustrate the efficiency of the method, the following exercise is performed. So two acoustic mesh have been constructed. The first mesh is unstructured and respects a purely acoustic criterion, and it's referred as the unstructured coarse mesh in the following. And then this mesh is compared with another mesh that is much finer and that is identical to the CFD mesh. So first, the acoustic source term is computed and projected on the two acoustic mesh. And as expected, the source pattern looks very different between the two mesh because of the integration technique. And because the coarse mesh features larger elements, the nodal value of the integrated source terms are higher, both in the time domain and in the frequency domain. But if one looks at the final acoustic results, these acoustic results are almost identical. And this is true for the near-field results, are shown by the map of the acoustic pressure on the computational mesh, but it's also true for the far-field results, the far-field directivity results as shown by the following diagram. So Actron is coupled with the vast majority of CFD solvers, and for the most popular ones, such as StarCD, StarCCM+, and Fluent, Actron directly reads the native CFD mesh and result files. And for other CFD package, the interface relies on the inside goal format that is output by most of the CFD solvers. So in the next slide, we will review some examples of application. So the first example concerned a test case set up a few years ago by the so-called German Aeroacoustic Consortium to benchmark the numerical methods able to predict HVAC noise. And so the test case is made of a rectangular duct with an elbow, and then there is a flap a few centimeters before the end of the duct. And so for this exercise, the final goal is to predict the noise results on a sphere of microphones that is located at some distance from the outlet of the duct. And for this exercise, we have partnered with CDA ADAPCO for the CFD computation. And so as you can see, the comparison between the experimental results and the numerical results show a very good agreement up to 1.5 kilohertz. So here is another example of the use of Actron to predict the noise of instrument panel ducts. So in the frame of a project performed for Visteon Interior System in France, Actron has been coupled to ANSYS Fluent and validated against experiments for several types of ducts. On the right-hand side, you can see the Actron model for this type of application. There is a first domain made of acoustic finite elements where the source will be computed. That is the blue domain in the figure. Then there is another domain of acoustic finite elements in red that does not contain any source and that is only used for the near-field propagation. And so the far-field propagation is then computed using infinite elements. So the CPU time for this kind of problem is about 15 CPU hours for the CFD, 6 CPU hours for the acoustics, for a simulation valid up to 3 kilohertz. Then another application is side mirror noise. So the noise produced by the vortex downstream a side mirror and transmitted to the car compartment is a very popular topic at the moment. Two different noise physical phenomena can be distinguished for that problem. And those two problems are caused by the turbulence. The first problem is linked to the fact that the turbulence generates downstream the side mirror is itself a source of noise. And in the computational process, the turbulence is computed by the CFD solver. Then this noise propagates in the air at the exterior of the vehicle, and part of this noise will impact the side window. And due to this acoustic loading, the window vibrates and generates noise in the car compartments. So for this first phenomenon, the numerical process is divided in 3 steps. First, the CFD solver computes the aerodynamic field. Then, based on this information, Actron computes the noise source and propagates the noise to the side window to compute the so-called acoustic wall pressure fluctuation. And this surface pressure is used as the excitation of the vibroacoustic model to compute the interior noise level. But then there is a second phenomenon that is the direct loading of the surface by the turbulence. And to account for that phenomenon, Actron can also directly extract from the CFD solution the so-called turbulent wall pressure fluctuation and use this pressure as the source of the same vibroacoustic model. And the sum of the two phenomena is basically the total noise in the interior of the car. So we have worked together with Volkswagen on a numerical model of the Passat. So the vibroacoustic model includes the side window, the seals around the window, the interior cavity, and a simple representation of the trim components using admittance condition. And so we can see on the results that the total noise is primarily driven by the acoustic wall pressure fluctuations, at least for the frequency range between 500 Hz and 2 kHz. Then the last application review is about aircraft landing gear noise. So this effort is related to a benchmark proposed by NESA. So in this benchmark, 2 cylinders have been placed in an anechoic room and connected to the outlet of a wind tunnel with a flow speed representative of the speed of an airplane at landing. And an acoustic model has been built to reproduce this test setup using a combination of finite and infinite elements. And the numerical model exploits the symmetry of the test case to reduce the computational effort. And in that case, the CFD solution has been computed by CD Adapco using StarCCM+. So this slide shows the correlation we obtained between Actron and the measurements. So thanks to the multiple load case capability of Actron, we can compute the acoustic response due to several CFD signals. And then by doing that, we can compute the dispersion of the response around the mean value. And this is the green envelope on the figure. So now it's time to draw some conclusion. So during this webinar, the concept of computational aeroacoustics has been introduced. So the goal of CAA is to numerically predict the noise generated by turbulent flow. So the major features of the hybrid method implemented in Actron have been reviewed. So the acoustic model relies on accurate unsteady CFD inputs. And based on these inputs, Action computes the equivalent aeroacoustic noise source using the concept of acoustic analogy. Two analogies are implemented in Action, the Lighting analogy for low Mach number and the Mering analogy for higher Mach numbers. And Action is coupled to the major CFD package, and the success of the method relies on a sophisticated mapping algorithm based on an integration technique. So 4 application cases have been reviewed, but they cover only a very small portion of what Action is capable. So the technique can basically be applied to any problem where the noise is due to the turbulence. So it is also fully compatible with other Action features, such as the vibroacoustic features, the duct modes, or the convected acoustics. So thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward in answering your questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Diego.